Maybe a talking sponge under the sea, or a car with eyes in Radiator Springs, or maybe a balloon. Whatever thing you can think of, the amazing world of Gumball? Oh, it takes that idea and turns them to the most insane character who ends up playing main character syndrome.
Which aisle is the mayo in?
It's gone. It's all gone.
In Gumball's Elmore, literally anything can talk. Objects, food, plants, random background props, just name it, and the developers of the show bring it to life immediately. Think about this. 1 minute Gumball is arguing with his brother Darwin, and the next he's having beef with a balloon, a cactus, or even a cardboard box. Gumballers, you know the wild part? These aren't just dormant random objects. Many of these talking objects have full personalities, story arcs, and even episodes centered around them. Gumballers, let's check out all of the strangest objects that talk in the amazing world of Gumball. From background weirdos you probably never noticed, to iconic characters who just happen to be, well, inanimate objects with voices.
Everywhere you go, sugar, sugar, sugar from your head to your toe. When you've eaten lots of sugar and you've had too much, watch out everybody, it's the sugar rush.
Sit tight and let's jump into Elmore's strangest lineup. Banana Joe, the fruit with too much energy. Let's start with the obvious one, which happens to be a fruit you can find almost everywhere in reality, Banana Joe. In this instance, let's call Banana Joe, B-Joe. He's an overripe combination of chaos and immaturity wrapped in a yellow peel. B-Joe is loud, energetic, and usually the kind of guy who ruins the vibe of a room without even realizing it. He's typically the guy that messes things up without trying to. What makes him one of the strangest objects in Gumball is that, unlike most cartoon bananas, he's not a quiet gag. He's a main character at Elmore Junior High, and everyone seems to know him, from teachers to students, and of course Gumball. Well, Gumball finds him as annoying as we do sometimes. Let's throw it back to
handles. She's not afraid to lick door handles. She might fade in.
episodes like The Banana, Season 2, Episode 6, which put him in the spotlight when Gumball accidentally humiliates him. But B-Joe is also known for being a bit too extra. He once even drew a portrait of himself and treated it like fine art. And the humor always circles back to the fact that he's a banana. Think about it. He's a fruit that can slip on his own peel. He's perishable. He probably needs a fridge to survive. And yet here he is, running around like a class clown. B-Joe proves the beauty of Gumball's world. Even the stuff in your lunchbox could become the most talkative guy in your school, just like they did in Elmore World. Terry, the germophobic paper bear. Next up is Terry, who happens to be one of Elmore's strangest students because she's literally just a paper cutout. Terry is more of a character drawn on a rough white paper with eyes, mouth, nose, and obviously a supposed ear. She is that character we often classify as too classy or not all that, always terrified of germs. She's the kind of character who refuses to touch doorknobs, panics when someone sneezes, and probably carries more sanitizer than an entire hospital.
All right, I'ma fight these punks.
What, Greco-Roman style? Maybe that is the solution.
Her episode, The Virus Season 3, Episode 31, really shows off her character quirks. She gets so wrapped up in her fear of sickness that she accidentally makes things worse. But here's what makes her strange. She's not just paper in appearance. She actually acts like she knows she's made of paper. She's fragile, she crinkles, and when she's upset, you can hear the sound of folding. Terry is often considered as a standout character, unlike Banana Joe or Alan. Terry is one of those object-come-to-life characters that shows Gumball's writers weren't just pulling random ideas. We can't just help but love our fragile paper character. Alan Keene, the balloon that's too perfect. If there's one character that splits fans right down the middle, it's definitely Alan Keene, the floating blue balloon. Alan's character in the show is the exact opposite of chaotic Elmore energy. He's quite calm, kind, optimistic, and always trying to be a good person, which often sway us off from the usual chaos that comes with Tewog. His kindness and awesomeness is often the problem. Alan
Boring, what's this? You think this is boring? Call me boring now! This is boring!
Alan is so perfect that he comes across as fake. He floats around with his smile plastered on, never loses his temper, and always tries to be the moral compass. For a show like The Amazing World of Gumball, where the comedy thrives on flaws and exaggeration, Alan almost feels like he doesn't belong. Even when he tries to fit in, he always comes off. Episodes like The Saint Season 3, Episode 11 walk us into this idea directly, showing how his too-good-to-be-true nature annoys everyone, most especially Gumball. Because in the world of Elmore, being too perfect is just as bad as being too chaotic. And here's where it goes all off. Alan is still an object. He's literally a balloon. That means his life is a constant threat of sharp objects, heat, or even just floating away. Yet he doesn't seem to be bothered at all, which somehow makes it even stranger. Alan is the definition of uncanny kindness, and that's why he earns his spot as one of the strangest talking objects in Tewog. If Alan is too perfect, then Sussy is the complete opposite. Sussy, the hand puppet. Nobody asked for. Sussy is half hand puppet, half doodle, and 100% nightmare fuel for some fans of Tewog. She's that character that has button eyes, a felt face, and this strange, high-pitched voice that always manages to make every scene awkward. Yes, the sharp, loud voice. What makes Sussy so unsettling isn't just her design, it's her behavior. She often shows up in the background doing something bizarre, like sniffing a desk or randomly just yelling.
Nothing can stop this happy girl, apart from bending or giving a twirl.
In The Weirdo Season 5, Episode 35, she even gets an entire episode dedicated to how off she is. The other end of Sussy's character is that she embodies Elmore's unpredictability. Although she's an object, well, literally a puppet, but instead of being controlled, she controls herself. And that flips the usual logic of puppets on its head, making her weird presence feel intentional. Fans are mostly torn apart on Sussy character. Some love her for the pure absurdity, others find her disturbing. But one thing is for sure about her, which is you can't forget her once you've seen her. She's always visible doing something or distracting us. She's indeed a weirdo, just like the episode dedicated to her is titled, Gumballers, the time has come to make attendance. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so now, or you won't be able to come into the Elmore High School. Don't forget to like and share the video.
I want to get back down into his own league.
What's that?
The bombshell that just got dropped on us.
Hot Dog Guy, the walking, talking awkwardness. The list doesn't end there. We have Hot Dog Guy, who might be the most relatable object character in Elmore, but yet awkward. Because he's basically social anxiety in hot dog form, and his body features are something else entirely. Hot Dog Guy is exactly what his name says, a hot dog in a bun with arms and legs. But his personality is all about awkward timing. He shows up when no one wants him to, says things that make situations worse, and often lingers just a little too long. One of his most infamous moments comes from the Hug Season 3, Episode 7, where he and Gumball get stuck in the world's most uncomfortable embrace. Neither wants to hug, but neither wants to be rude, so they just keep holding each other way past the point of normalcy.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, do.
It's hilariously painful to watch. Hot Dog Guy is a strange talking object because he doesn't just look ridiculous, his entire personality is built on awkwardness, and that makes him unforgettable. Although he's a good combination for food, but on screen, he is that awkward guy. Carrie Kruger, the ghost of a locker. Carrie might not seem like an object at first glance, but technically she is. She's a ghost tied to her locker at Elmore Junior High. Carrie is one of the fan-favorite characters because she mixes emo ghost girl energy with Gumball's absurd comedy. She floats, she sulks, she eats weird ghost food, and she's constantly roasting the Wattersons. Her object tie-in is clever. She's a ghost that haunts not a house, but her school locker. It's such a random choice, but it makes perfect sense in Elmore logic. Episodes like The Ghost Season 1, Episode 16, show Carrie's unique place in the world. She's part student, part supernatural being, and part furniture? Only in Gumball could a locker ghost be a main character. Tina Rex, the plastic toy dinosaur brought to life. Tina Rex looks like a giant dinosaur bully, but here's the twist. She's actually a toy dinosaur that somehow came to life. That little detail makes her one of Gumball's strangest object characters. She's not a real T-Rex, but her plastic design is scaled up to monstrous proportions, making her tower over every other student at Elmore. While T-Rex might look dangerous, like what a real dragon might look like at first glance, it's actually the other way around in reality. Tina's whole personality revolves around being the school bully. She intimidates everyone, especially Gumball, who often finds himself on the wrong end of her temper.
Have a roll. Sure I do. If I don't flick this switch, nobody will be able to see the play.
Dude, you know when people say I could do that job with my little finger? In your case, it's actually true.
But I only have one finger.
Episodes like The Fight Season 1, Episode 18, and The Lesson Season 2, Episode 14 show her in full force. But what makes her truly bizarre is her object origin. She's technically a toy, which means she's basically the Elmore version of a living action figure. That small backstory detail makes her both hilarious and terrifying. Gumballers, what do you think of T-Rex at first glance? Drop your response in the comments section. Let's talk about it. The random talking background objects. Gumballers, here's where things get twisted. Here are some other background objects that talk in Gumball. These are characters who don't always have names or major arcs, but they pop up in classrooms, streets, and even the Watterson home. And once you notice them, you can't unsee them. The melting ice cream cone. This is absolutely no doubt one of those characters that makes you question the sanity of Tewog. Meet Ice Cream Cone, a cone-headed student who's constantly dripping. He's always patting his face back into shape, which makes you wonder how he hasn't completely melted away by now. Whichever way you want to look at it, he doesn't seem to be melting away anytime soon.
It's nice to see you!
Look, Sarah, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, we have to... Why are we running again?
Next on the list is the Old Man Puppet. The Old Man Puppet. He is literally a hand puppet with button eyes that sits quietly in the background. Never explained, never addressed, and somehow creepier every time he appears. Polygon Guy. Polygon is that character that reminds you of the PlayStation 1 era, as he looks like a character who walks around Elmore like he's stuck in the wrong video game. Cactus Kids. A family of walking cactus plants who embody prickly personalities. Every hug is a bad idea. It's always giving the vibe of don't come close, talking food people. Beyond Banana Joe and Hot Dog Guy, Elmore is full of pizza slices, potatoes, and even toast that speak. The brilliance of these characters is that they're often used as sight gags, but the fact they exist at all expands Gumball's surreal world. They're experiments in animation styles, jokes about everyday objects, and foods we come across. These background weirdos prove that in Gumball, there's no such thing as just a prop. Gumballers, well, mostly that in Elmore. You can't trust anything to stay silent. Bananas talk, paper worries, balloons preach perfection, puppets haunt your dreams, and sometimes, even your lunch might wander off and join your math class. The amazing world of Gumball turned everyday objects into full-blown personalities, and that's part of why it still feels fresh years later. It's not just the Wattersons that keep fans hooked, but it's the melting cones, the awkward hot dogs, the perfect balloons, and the background puppets that give Elmore its bizarre charm. It's a world where imagination has no limits. Just think about it and it comes to life, and no object is too strange to be given a voice. So the next time you grab a snack, open your locker, or see a balloon floating by, just remember, in Gumball's world, those things are probably judging you. Until the next video, stay gumballing and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.